You think you know your own kid? You think after all these years you'd see it coming? On Father's Day, my son asked, "Are you enjoying that $10,000? He asked this in front of his wife, Larissa, in front of the waiter, in an expensive restaurant in Lincoln Park that of course I was paying for. His voice, it wasn't curious. There was venom in it. It was an accusation. And right there, with my stomach in knots and the check on the table, I understood everything. Absolutely everything. I should have seen it sooner. The signs were all there, flashing red. But a father is a fool, isn't he? We're the last to see. Let me introduce myself properly. My name is Carlos. I'm 51. I'm a civil engineer, or rather I was. I had a mid-sized construction firm here in Chicago, Almeida Construction. Something I built from scratch, you know, with my hands. I started with small renovations, drywall, painting, and I worked my ass off to put up buildings. I was so proud of that. I'm a widower. 10 years now. 10 long years since my Helena passed, cancer, fast, devastating. And ever since she left, my world became my only son, Ricardo. He's 32. And Ricardo, well, he never really found his way. It's hard to say that. It hurts a father's heart, but it's the truth, and this story is about that, about the truth. I lived in a good condo, in Lincoln Park, a place where Helena picked out every single tile. I'm a simple man despite what I built. I like my brewed coffee, my quiet. My luxury was seeing Ricardo do well, or at least thinking he was doing well. The construction firm wasn't a gift, no. I busted my hump. Ricardo, he didn't see that part. He was born into the nice condo, the expensive private school, the new car when he turned 18. Ricardo got married about 5 years ago, to Larissa, a girl who is, how to put it? Modern, lived on her phone, wouldn't look you in the eye, but Ricardo seemed to like her. I helped. Of course I helped. I gave them the down payment on their condo, a nice place near the park. I paid for the wedding. And Ricardo, he had this startup idea. He did 2 years of engineering at the University of Illinois, dropped out, did 1 year of business at DePaul, dropped out. Then he came with this talk of tech, apps, changing the world. Me coming from brick and mortar. I didn't really get it, but he was my son. I encouraged him. I fronted him some capital, about $100,000. "Dad, it's an investment. I'll pay you back in a year with a bonus." Yeah, 3 years had gone by, and not a single dollar back. The startup just seemed to be a rented office with a fancy computer. Our relationship was distant. He only called when he needed something, and he always needed something. "Dad, the car registration is due. Dad, the rent on the startup's office is late. Dad, Larissa wants to take this course." And I'd go. I'd pay. What doesn't a father do? You think you're helping, right? That you're being supportive. But I was in fact raising a 32-year-old man who didn't know the price of a bag of cement. And the signs, they started subtly, like I'd call on a Sunday. "Hey, son, want to grab lunch?" "Nah, Dad, busy today. Larissa and I are, well, we have plans." "Oh, all right." But then I'd see it on Instagram, a picture of them at an expensive restaurant, and not even an invitation. It wasn't about the money, it was about the gesture, you know? "Good morning" text, he'd see it. 3 days later, he'd reply, "Thanks, Dad. Busy here. Busy. Always busy." Then it got worse. It was a coldness. I'd go to their place. Larissa would barely come out of the bedroom. Ricardo on his phone. "Dad, sorry, just putting out a fire with the startup." I'd just sit there, in the living room watching TV, feeling like a stranger, a walking ATM. For my birthday, 51. I wanted to have a barbecue, something simple. "Oh, Dad, a birthday? Let's go to a restaurant. A barbecue is so messy." We went to a restaurant. He and Larissa showed up 40 minutes late. The gift? A bottle of wine, one I knew he'd gotten for free from a client. But the real alarm, the one that lit the red light, was about 2 weeks before that Father's Day. I needed help, a simple thing. I was having minor surgery, routine, removing a cyst on my shoulder. Local anesthetic, but the doctor wanted someone with me. "Ricardo, can you come to the hospital with me? It's Tuesday, 2 p.m. I'll be out by 4. Silence on the phone. "Ugh, Dad. Tuesday, 2 p.m. Impossible. I have a meeting with an investor. Can't reschedule." "An investor?" "Yeah, Dad, big deal." "All right, son. I'll just get a cab." And I went. Alone. The doctor even gave me a look. "Where's your son, Carlos?" I lied. "He's on a business trip, doctor." An emergency. The lie hurt more than the scalpel. On the way home, with my shoulder throbbing, my arm in a sling, I stopped at a deli to buy some bread. I couldn't cut the bread properly with one hand. The owner, Mr. Manuel, came to help me. "Let me slice that for you, Mr. Carlos." A stranger helped me. My son. No, that day, on the way home, I cried. First time since Helena died. And you know what I found out later? The meeting with an investor? It was Larissa's personal trainer. He went to take her to the gym. Antonor, their doorman, told me by accident. "Saw your son today, Mr. Carlos. He was heading to the gym with Mrs. Larissa, all excited." That was the moment it clicked. But I still wasn't ready. Go figure. And that's why I'm here, telling this story. I want to thank the folks at this channel for giving me this voice. Because when you go through something like this, you think you're the only one, that you failed in a way no one else has. But listening to the stories here, I saw I'm not alone. And maybe my story will help someone. I don't know. Wake up sooner than I did, so thank you. And stick with me because the story that it gets a lot worse before it gets better. T2. After the hospital, I pulled back a bit, stopped calling so much. And what happened? Silence. He didn't call. Not once. It was 10 days, not a single text. Then the next week he calls me, Thursday. "Dad, everything okay?" His voice was so gentle. Me, the idiot, I actually got hopeful. "Everything's fine, son. And you? How's the startup?" "Well, Dad, about that. Larissa and I are hosting a dinner at our place Saturday for some contacts, important people. You should come, right?" "Of course." "Saturday? Absolutely." I got dressed up, bought a good bottle of wine, an expensive one. I got there. The condo was packed. 20-something people, loud music, young, modern people. Ricardo saw me, gave me a hey from across the room, handed me a drink, and disappeared. Larissa, she blew me a kiss. "Hi, Mr. Carlos. Make yourself at home," and went off to laugh with some friends. I just stood there, in the corner of the living room. Nobody spoke to me. I was the old guy, the father, the provider, but not Carlos. I tried to make small talk with some guy who was talking loudly about crypto. He looked me up and down and turned his back. I watched Ricardo introducing people. "This is so-and-so, CEO of..." "This is what's her name, an influencer." And me? I was. "Oh, that's my dad." He didn't even say my name. I stayed for an hour, ate a cold appetizer, and left. Nobody even noticed I was gone. The next day, Sunday, I called. "Hey, son, the dinner last night." He cuts me off. "Dad, it was great. We closed a deal, and you didn't have to leave so early, you know? People thought it was kind of rude." "Rude? Me?" "Ricardo, I was standing alone in the corner of the room." "Oh, Dad, you just don't mingle. You're too..." "Anyway, never mind. It all worked out." And he hung up. I don't mingle. See? Then came the story about the lake house. I have a small condo in Michigan City. Simple. Something Helena and I bought when Ricardo was a kid. He used to love it. We went every summer, and I mentioned it. "Son, I'm thinking of spending the holiday weekend in Michigan City. Want to come along?" Larissa's answer came from over his shoulder. I heard it. "Ugh, Michigan City? That dump? And your dad's old building? No way." Ricardo laughed, like it was a joke. "Ah, Dad, Michigan City isn't happening, right? It's too popular. We were thinking of going to South Beach. Popular, the place where he learned to swim. But the worst was at the company. I was still giving him a hand, a symbolic stipend, even though he didn't work there, about $3,000. One day, I needed him to sign a document. He came by the construction office, and I heard him. He was talking to my secretary, Mrs. Elvira, who's been with me for 20 years. He spoke loudly. "Elvira, tell my dad I don't have all day. This place is falling apart. It smells like dust. Good thing I followed my own path, right? This is a thing of the past." Mrs. Elvira turned bright red. I was in my office, door open. "This here, Ricardo, this here paid for your college, paid for your car, pays the rent for your startup." I walked out of my office. "Ricardo, sign the paper, and you can go." My voice came out, cold. "Wow, Dad, what a mood. Are you PMSing?" And he laughed in my face, in front of my employee. But nothing compares to what happened on the Tuesday before Father's Day. That was the day he asked me for the $10,000. I was at the office. The month-end balance was tight. A big project had a delayed payment. Cash flow was low. I was at my desk, looking at spreadsheets, my head pounding. The phone rings. It was him. "Dad, I need help, urgent." His voice was pure panic. "What is it, Ricardo? Did you crash the car?" "No, Dad. Worse. I have a debt with the bank, for the startup." A vendor thing. If I don't pay $10,000 by Friday, the bank is going to freeze everything. It'll ruin my credit. The Almeida name, Dad, he used the name, my name. 10,000, Ricardo? Just like that? I don't have that liquid right now. The company cash flow is... Dad, for God's sake, it's my future. Are you going to let me go under over 10 grand? I took a deep breath. I looked at my personal account. I had 10,214.50. It was my money. The emergency money. That one I had withdrawn, as the premise said. It was a fund from Helena, an old retirement account she had, which she left to me. I had cashed it out last month because the return was terrible. I was going to move it somewhere else. It was $10,000. Exactly. Ricardo, he couldn't have known about that. It was impossible. It was an account only I had. I thought about the bad credit, the shame. I thought about him. Okay, Ricardo, I'll transfer it. But look, this is the last time. You need to get control. Thanks, Dad, you're the best. I knew I could count on you. And he hung up before I could say anything else. I looked at my computer screen, and I made the transfer. 10,000 salaries to Ricardo S. Almeida. My account balance dropped to 214.50. I was wiped out. Helena's money, my last safety net. Tinha ido pra dívida do banco. I felt like an idiot, a complete idiot. But he was my son. And then we got to Sunday, Father's Day. He called me on Saturday. Dad, let's do lunch to celebrate. Me and Larissa at that new restaurant in Lincoln Park. I already knew I'd be paying. But I went. I put on a good shirt, put on cologne. I wanted to try. Maybe after the $10,000 he'd be, I don't know, grateful. I got there, 12:30. The restaurant was packed, loud. They were already at the table, on their phones, both of them. The lunch was cold. Larissa didn't say 10 words. Ricardo talked about the startup, about how he was going to revolutionize the market. I just listened. The food came, we ate, I ordered a steak. It was tough, or maybe it was the lump in my throat. I asked for the check. The waiter, a young guy, brought it. I already had my card in my hand. Ricardo gave me my gift, a small box. I opened it. It was a belt, faux leather, a belt. I looked at him. Thank you, son. And that's when. The waiter standing right there. The check on the table. He looked at me. That smirk. And he let it rip. Loud. Loud enough for the waiter to hear. Loud enough for the next table to look over. So, Dad, are you enjoying that $10,000? The world stopped. The restaurant noise disappeared. I looked at him. I didn't understand at first. My brain was slow to process. What $10,000, Ricardo? He laughed. A mocking laugh. The $10,000 that Mom left, Dad. Her emergency fund. I saw you withdrew it last month. Treating yourself to a little something? That's right. So got to enjoy life. And Larissa giggled. Yeah, Mr. Carlos, you've got to take care of yourself. I went cold. I froze from the soles of my feet to the top of my head. How? How did he know about that withdrawal? And, wait, it all added up in my head. The $10,000 debt on Tuesday. The $10,000 withdrawal he thought I had for myself. He wasn't in debt. He saw the withdrawal. He thought I had extra cash, enjoying myself, and he invented a debt to get more from me, to get his share. He thought I was stealing from his dead mother, and he wanted his cut. The man I'd given $100,000 for a ghost startup. The humiliation was public. The waiter standing there, awkward. The next table, staring. My daughter-in-law laughing. My son accusing me. It wasn't anger. It was a click, a switch, like a very bright light turning on in a dark room. I saw everything. I saw the 10 years of neglect, the hospital, the dinner party, the popular lake house, the PMS, everything. And it was over. Right there. The Carlos the foolish father was gone. I looked at him. My hand didn't shake. I picked up my phone. Calmly. I opened my banking app. The waiter was still there. Ricardo, I said. My voice, I didn't even recognize it. You want to know about your mother's $10,000? I turned the phone toward him. I showed him the balance of my checking account. The balance, $214.50. And I showed him the last transaction, from Tuesday. I highlighted it with my finger. To Ricardo S. Almeida, amount $10,000. His smile vanished. It went to pay your bank debt, Ricardo. That was your mother's money. I used it for you. Larissa stopped laughing. Her face went white. "Now," I said, putting my phone in my pocket and pushing the check toward him. "You pay the bill because I'm broke." I stood up. "Thanks for the belt," and I walked out of the restaurant. I left them both there, jaws on the floor, and for the first time in 10 years, I felt light. As I walked down the street, the sun shining, I didn't go home, I just walked aimlessly. And the memories, and they came flooding back. How does life turn out this way? I remembered when Ricardo was 8, he'd come to the construction site with me. "Dad, I'm going to build buildings with you." And I remembered one time, the company almost went bankrupt. Some crazy market crash. I sold my car, my only car, to make payroll. And Helena sold her jewelry, her mother's jewelry, so we wouldn't lose the condo. Ricardo, he wanted a new bike and he couldn't understand why he couldn't have it. Helena sat him down. "Son, Daddy is building a castle, and the castle needs a lot of bricks." And when I got back on my feet, a year later, the first thing I did was buy him the most expensive bike in the store. I sacrificed everything for him, and now $10,000. And I remembered Helena in the hospital, the last days. Ricardo was 22, and he couldn't handle it. He wouldn't visit. "Dad, I can't see her like this." And I stayed. I slept 40 nights in a hospital chair. I was the one who bathed her, and Helena, in one of her last days, she took my hand. "Carlos, take care of our boy. He's not strong like you." And I promised, "I'll take care of him, my love, I'll take care of him." And I did. I took too much care. I took so much care I ruined him. And it was while walking there down Clark Street that the click from the restaurant became a decision. The promise to Helena, take care of the boy, didn't mean support the man. Taking care meant stopping. It meant setting boundaries. And then I realized I wasn't defenseless. Ricardo, he thought I was just the old man from the construction company. The fool. He thought my life was the company and the condo, and he must have already been doing the math. When the old man died, the company is mine, the condo is mine. Well, there was just one detail, a detail that Helena, always smarter than me, made sure to arrange. The condo in Lincoln Park, the one she decorated, worth $1.2 million today. It's not in my name. Helena, she had a sister, my sister-in-law, Lucia, who lives in Spain. And Helena, before she died, she made me promise. "Carlos, sign the condo over to Lucia with a life estate for you, for life." I didn't understand at the time, and she said, "Ricardo is weak with money, Carlos. If something happens to you, he'll burn through that in 6 months, and he'll be on the street." How did she know? And I did it. The condo belongs to Lucia. I can live in it until the day I die, but I can't sell it. And Ricardo? He can't inherit it. It's not part of the estate. The big condo that he and Larissa were probably already measuring wasn't theirs. And there was more. I'm not stupid. I'm an engineer. I deal with numbers. I saw the coldness. I started to protect myself. In 2010, well before Helena got sick, I opened a private retirement account, an IRA, for my retirement, and I put money in it every month. Today, there's over $650,000 in there, and a retirement account isn't inheritance. It doesn't go through probate. It's mine. And Ricardo, he doesn't even know it exists. He thinks my life is the company checking account, the account he helped drain. He doesn't know that his old, popular, falling-apart father has a safety net his mother helped sew. That Sunday afternoon, I didn't go home. I stopped at a cafe, and I made a call. "Mr. Arruda, it's Carlos Almeida. Sorry to call on a Sunday. Can you see me tomorrow, 8 a.m.? It's urgent." Dr. Arruda has been my lawyer for 20 years. A shark, old school. 7:30, Carlos. My office. And from the sound of your voice, bring the bank statements. I was already taking back control. Monday, 7:30 a.m., me and Arruda. I told him everything, the lunch, the $10,000, the startup, the hospital. He just listened. "Took you long enough, Carlos. Took you long enough to wake up." And then he got to work. "Here's what we're going to do. First, an audit, a full audit of the construction company. I want every invoice, every investment in your son's startup. Arruda, I'll bankrupt my son." "No, Carlos. You're going to show him what real life is. The company has minority shareholders. You can't use corporate funds to bankroll him. You're going to protect yourself, and you're going to claw back what belongs to the company." I left there and went to the office. I called the accountant. I want that audit now. Focus on the last 5 years. All withdrawals made by Ricardo. The accountant, who had always looked the other way, went pale. But Mr. Carlos, now Mario. Then I went to the bank, the company gas card, the one Ricardo used. Cancel it. Immediately. His $3,000 stipend. Suspend it. As of today, I was clean, cold. It wasn't revenge, it was housekeeping. It was putting my house in order. And I changed. I stopped answering his calls. The calls, there were 2 on Sunday night, 3 on Monday. I didn't pick up. I let them ring. ACT3. It didn't take long. It took 1 week. The gas card didn't work at the pump. The stipend didn't land in his account. And then the phone rang. It was Ricardo. I answered calmly. Dad, what is this? You blocked the company gas card? His voice was unbelievable. It wasn't, I'm sorry. It was, why did you do this? Yes, Ricardo, I blocked it. But I use that for my car. I need it. Ricardo, you don't work for the company. The card is for employees of the company. Silence. And my payment? My stipend? It didn't come through. That's been suspended too. You don't work here, Ricardo. You don't keep hours. You don't punch a clock. There is no stipend. That was an allowance. And the allowance is over. He hung up on me, slammed the phone down. 2 hours later, Larissa calls me. Mr. Carlos, are you crazy? You're going to cut off your own son? Ricardo is here. He's sick. Sick, Larissa? Or just inconvenienced? She started screaming. You are a petty old man. I hung up. I wasn't going to listen to it. The next morning, Ricardo showed up at the office, unannounced. He stormed past Mrs. Elvira. I want to talk to my father. He threw open my office door. I was alone, reading a report. He came in, red-faced. Are you kidding me? What is this charade? I looked at him. Sit down, Ricardo. He didn't sit. What is going on, Dad? What's going on, Ricardo, is an audit. The accountant, he's tracking down some invoices. You know that $100,000 for the startup? That wasn't my money. It was corporate money. The company is going to bill you with interest and all the advances you took. The car the company pays for. Everything. Mario is finalizing the total. It looks like it's coming to about $150,000, which you will have to pay back to the company. The color drained from his face. He wasn't expecting this. He exploded. You're going to bill your son? You're disowning your son. You're betraying my mother's memory. He used Helena. Again, I stood up. Ricardo, your mother's memory is what I honored. Every day. Your mother's memory and was the money I gave you that she saved. The money you thought I was stealing. Get out of my office. You can't do this. I've already done it. The audit notification will arrive at your address. He cried, crocodile tears. Dad, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I was upset. Father's Day. I said stupid things. Forgive me, Dad. Let's forget this. Let's get a coffee. I'll pay. He tried the charm. The repentant son. Too late. No, Ricardo, this is with Mr. Arruda now. It's professional. Leave, please. He looked at me, the hatred in his eyes. He wasn't my son anymore. He was a stranger. And he left. He slammed the door so hard, the glass in Mrs. Elvira's office rattled. 2 days later, Larissa. She showed up at my condo, unannounced. Mr. Carlos, can we talk? I let her in. Ricardo, he's not well. You're being too hard on him. He's your son. We messed up, but family is family. She tried the family card. Larissa, what do you want? She cut to the chase. Ricardo needs you to stop the audit. And we were thinking, the startup needs one more investment to really take off. Then he can pay you back everything at once, $200,000. It solves everything. They didn't want forgiveness. They wanted more. 200,000. I started to laugh, not from joy, from the absurdity. Larissa, you two are unbelievable. The answer is no, and good luck, you're going to need it. Her face transformed. You're a bitter old man, you're going to die alone, alone. I was already alone, my dear. The only difference is now I know it. The door is right there. And she left. And then I did what I should have done a long time ago. I followed through with the plan. Mr. Arruda sent the notification. Ricardo, he tried to get a lawyer. Mr. Arruda called me, laughing. Carlos, the kid he hired, says fresh out of law school. He tried to argue emotional distress. I just showed him the invoices from the startup. The car registration for Larissa's car, paid by the company, the trip to Miami, Client prospecting. The kids shut up. They have no defense. Ricardo called me. 20 times, 30, sent texts. Dad, for the love of God. Dad, you're going to destroy me. Dad, I love you. Dad, I hate you. I blocked him. I blocked his number. I blocked Larissa's. I chose silence. There was nothing left to be said. Silence. Sometimes silence is the loudest answer there is, and that was it. The noise stopped. The last step was going to the notary and signing the papers to sell my share in the construction firm, and the papers to sell the condos, to transfer the life estate. I called my sister-in-law, Lucia. Lucia, I'm selling the condo. The money, it's yours, like Helena wanted. No, Carlos, the money is yours. Helena wanted to protect you. No, it's yours, just send me enough for a small house in the mountains. And so it was done, and things happened. I sold my share of the company to an old partner, a decent man. I got a good sum. The condo in Lincoln Park was sold. Lucia, my sister-in-law, insisted and sent me back 60% of the value. Ricardo, I heard that Larissa left him. As soon as the notification of the $150,000 debt arrived, it seems the love couldn't withstand the first real bill. The condo I gave them the down payment for went into litigation. The startup, of course, failed. He had to sell his imported SUV to start paying the debt to the company. His lawyer made a deal. 24 installments. He's paying it. I heard from Antenor, the doorman, that he moved into a small rented apartment in another neighborhood. Popular, as he would say. It seems he's working, for real, at an ad agency. Starting at the bottom. Life, it collects, doesn't it? And me? I did what I said. I left Chicago. I took my money. The retirement money, the money from the company sale, the portion from the condo. And I bought a house. A small house here in Asheville, in the mountains. The air is different. I wake up early. The quiet, the fog. I make my brewed coffee, and I go take care of my garden. I have a garden now, with flowers, that I planted myself. Do I miss my son? I miss the 8-year-old boy in the yellow hard hat. That one, I miss him. The 32-year-old man I don't recognize. Did it hurt? It hurt like nothing else in my life, not even Helena's death, because death is a departure. What Ricardo did was a betrayal, but it passed. It's not anger. It's peace. It's acceptance. I learned too late that taking care isn't giving. Taking care is preparing. It's saying no. I said yes my entire life, and my first no saved what was left of me. Week last. My phone vibrated. I didn't even remember I had the number. It was him. Dad, I need help. A single sentence. Short. Direct. I looked. I saw it. The message turned blue. I didn't answer. I put the phone in my pocket and went to water my roses. Some doors, when they close, don't need a handle anymore. Peace. Peace has a different price. And you know what? Now? Yes. I am finally enjoying myself. Not the $10,000, but my life. And that's it. Thank you for listening to me. Really, this story, it was hard to tell, but it was necessary. What about you? What would you have done in my place? Do you think I did the right thing? Leave your comment below. I'll try to read them. Subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. Take care and be well.